What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave, and welcome to your wrestling warm-up for Monday Night Raw. We are just 2 hours away from Monday Night Raw, and by all accounts, by all intents and purposes, it certainly looks like tonight might be the first official real big push to WrestleMania. Yes, it looks like WWE is finally realizing, hey, we're just a couple of weeks away here from WrestleMania. Maybe we should start giving a crap. Maybe we should start caring just a little. Maybe. Because they have absolutely loaded up tonight with stars. And potential other stars that are not really being reported yet. So there's a lot to talk about. A lot to get to, and we're going to do that. Let's start with the news of who we know is going to be on the show tonight. Of course, we know Dean Ambrose is going to have a lot of things to say and do. Who knows what direction he's going to go in. Everyone's expecting it to go right back to Brock Lesnar. Brock's going to be there. That's a huge one. We know Triple H is going to have some gloating and things to say. Is this going to be the return of Roman Reigns? Does that finally happen tonight? You know, I'm not sure. I don't think anybody is, because we're hearing that he is having issues in recovering. Maybe he's not going to be ready. Who knows? But we're going to find out tonight. I think if he's not there tonight, then more than likely they're going to have to change plans up to this point, but we'll see. Big shout out to everyone in the chat. Terry Snow Queen, Afflex, 621, Joe Martin, Fake Ass Twat, Joseph Blunt, Carl Gibney, all you guys. I really do appreciate you hanging out with me. Pretty good stuff. No, Joe Martin, I'm not taking your call now because this is not the call-in portion of the show, and I don't change my show just for you. That doesn't happen. Sorry, sweetheart. It's okay, though. Anyways, back to the show here. So we know that those guys will be around doing stuff. We know that AJ, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Chris Jericho, Neville, we know that situation is going to be sussing itself out. We know we have a New Day title defense. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. We have those things, but these are the guys that we also know is going to be there. The Undertaker is going to be there, and apparently he will be confronting both McMahons during this show. He will be confronting Vince and Shane. Should be interesting. Are they going to go to a little bit more of a skew part? And is this also the time when we're going to have the other guy who's booked for tonight, Mick Foley? Is he going to be coming out during that segment? That's an interesting, you would figure, because it's Hell in a Cell. This is what Mick Foley does. All the things that he has to do with the history, especially with The Undertaker, makes all the sense in the world. Get the mixer in there, and what is he going to do? You know, that's going to be great. So you have Mick, you got Taker. We know Brock's going to be there, Shane O'Mac. But two other potential guys are gaining a little bit of traction here. One is an absolute rumor and almost 100% sure it's not going to happen. The other one, that being Daniel Bryan, very likely could be getting involved tonight. And this is interesting to me because he is around Pittsburgh, and we know he's with Brie Mode. And with the whole situation with Lana, there's rumors that Rusev can be getting involved. And if he does, makes sense for Daniel Bryan getting involved. Now, of course, nothing physical. I'm sure we're all very certain of that. Nothing physical, as my wife blows her nose in the background. God, I love not having a studio. Just saying. It's okay. It's okay. I wish you would not be interrupting me and saying you're sorry and taking me further out of it. But it's okay. So, oh, babe, what was I talking about? I don't know. Jesus. Daniel Bryan. Okay. Daniel Bryan, I believe him being there could be pretty interesting. In what capacity? Obviously, no physicality, but just having him there, it's a boost. It's a boost, and I'm sure he'll make some kind of appearance at WrestleMania. So, I mean, you have all of that. Here's the one that people are talking about, and I'm sure that it's bullshit, and it's going off of a reported conversation at last week's Arnold Classic thing. And my man Too Tall over at XLT Live Podcast talked about this earlier, and that is, of course, Triple H and Kurt Angle talking to each other at that event. Now, what does it mean? Does it mean anything? Kurt being in Pittsburgh, apparently. Does that mean anything? Kurt Angle is in Pittsburgh. There's pictures of him there. Don't know if he's anywhere around the arena, but everybody's freaking out about the possibility of Kurt Angle and it being Pittsburgh. Actually, I don't know if he's in Pittsburgh. I might have made that up. But the fact that that's his area or whatever, it's very possible that maybe, could he be showing up? No. And if he does, I'm going to bury him, because this guy told TNA that he was taking a year off, and he wasn't going anywhere for a year. He was probably done with TNA and all that. But it's been very well reported that, by his own words, that he was not going to be doing anything wrestling related for like a year. It would be interesting if just one conversation that we've known about with Triple H could get him going into the build up to WrestleMania. Pretty interesting stuff if it were to happen. I think that there is a 5% at most, and I think 5% is being generous. There's like a 5% chance of this actually happening. It's just, I think that they are very smart about the rumors that they allow to leak. I know that they've gotten much more hip and savvy about the fact of, putting these things out there and allowing people to absorb them, make their own translations, their own interpretations and all of these things, So could he show up? And would it be a big impact? Yeah, I guess he could. But in what capacity? Do you get Kurt Angle 2 weeks, 3 weeks before WrestleMania? Really only 2 weeks before WrestleMania. And you throw him in there into some hurried match. It just, I don't know. And him just appearing, while interesting, it doesn't really mean anything. So there's all these, I don't know. I mean, it does mean something because he's Kurt Angle, but I don't want to see them just jam more spectacle into an already big spectacle. We know that WrestleMania 32 has the names to be a spectacle. Thus is why they've already sold over 85,000. I'm hearing like closer to 90,000 tickets. Oh, someone wrote in chat, "Oh, you didn't know?" So I had to say that. I'm sorry. It's because of the spectacle. It's because of the names. It's because everyone knows that The Rock's going to be there. Stone Cold's going to be there. Mick Foley's going to be there. Shane McMahon, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. The Hall of Fame class is very diverse. You got, Sting's going to be around WrestleMania weekend just for the Hall of Fame alone. All these Texas boys. You have all these things that are potentially there already, that is just building this into this gigantic spectacle. But the thing that they really have not touched on at all in any capacity is setting up marquee, must-see, can't-miss wrestling matches. And that's what I'm expecting to see tonight on Monday Night Raw, is the build to those. The Intercontinental title picture, for example, which I'm expecting to be the show stealer in whatever capacity that it's in, most likely being some kind of multi-man match for everything that's reporting. If maybe another ladder match like it was last year, and that was one of the highlights of last year, I would not hate seeing that again. But how about like a championship scramble? I wouldn't mind seeing that. That'd be kind of fun. Just seeing a half hour of insanity for the Intercontinental Championship match, that would be freaking amazing. That would be freaking amazing. So you have these possibilities. You have these different things that can happen with it, but we need more. We need more matches that are set up. And I think that's why they ultimately went with AJ Styles and Chris Jericho, because they know that is going to be another one of those matches that they're going to hang their hat on in the wrestling capacity. The women's title match, the Divas title match, it's not the women's title yet. Total Divas isn't off the air quite yet, so it's still the Divas Championship. But while it is, that's going to be a marquee wrestling match. It's going to be fantastic. Kalisto and Ryback, we know we're going to have to suffer through that. That's not going to be one of those marquee wrestling matches. But the point is, they got a few things. What I didn't want to happen is, and what I don't want people to be kind of resting on is like, well, I'm going to go for the entire weekend, and I know I'm going to get my wrestling fix at NXT, and WrestleMania is just the spectacle. I guess that would work, for some people. Not really for me. I think WrestleMania, like last year, why it worked, why I liked last year's WrestleMania quite a bit, was because of how they mixed the spectacle and the really solid wrestling. With all the guys who are out that are not able to go, without your Cesaros, without your Seth Rollins, without your John Cena even, who delivered last year with Rusev in a not bad match at all. You have all of these guys that are out, and you can't lean on them this year. So you're going to have to lean on other things. And I'm just worried that they're not going to be delivering in that department because they got the spectacle. You're going to have Shane McMahon doing something insane in Hell in a Cell. You're going to have Roman Reigns being coronated as I can't even say it. I don't even want to say it. The coronation of Roman. He'll finally become the man. This is the one time where I'm really hoping that they decide to just keep the belt on Triple H. Just pull the swerve and just have Triple H as champion. Just screw it. Screw it. And then it goes something uber crazy the night before. Triple H remains champion after WrestleMania. Shane McMahon gets control of Raw. The next night, insanity ensues. How awesome would that be? Something like that would be cool. But the problem is, what do you do with Roman? That's my biggest hang-up. When I'm talking about Roman Reigns and talking about alternate plans for Roman Reigns is, what do you do with him? If you're not going to make a major change to him, which they're not turning him heel or anything like that. It really is just about what else can they do with him. And it feels like if he does not get this coronation of being the champion of champions, that his career could be just about done. And I mean that literally. There's no repackaging this guy without making a drastic heel turn and changing him completely. That's the problem with him. And they're not going to do that because once again, it always goes back down to this. We're the ones who are unhappy with Roman Reigns. They're not, because he's selling merch. Yes, he's getting booed out of buildings, but he's still one of the top merch sellers. He's still one of the top merch sellers. He still does his job. He's getting Make-A-Wish requests. He's becoming that guy. He was one of the guys at the WrestleMania 33 promotional thing. He missed television, but he didn't miss that. That should tell you who he is to this company. And that's the thing. Look, Kyo 310, how can they let Reigns win if the crowd is shitting on him? It's going to be awkward. Everybody knew 2 years ago at that Royal Rumble what was going to happen in Philadelphia. Everybody knew it. The way with Daniel Bryan, especially when he got eliminated, they had half the match to go. They stayed the course and they let Roman win and they trotted The Rock out there. They both got booed, and then the next night they made fun of it on air because they don't care. It's sheer arrogance at this point. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. They don't give a shit. They feel bulletproof with a lot of these situations. And in some ways, I don't really blame them for that. It's just a very difficult situation. Kyo310 says he doesn't even sell that much merch. Well, not according to the friggin' to the things that I read. And he's the top five guy. Top five guy. Roman Reigns sells merch. That's why he's in the spot he's in. He does sell merch. Those damn shirts sell the hell out, unfortunately. Makes me want to blow my brains out. But at least the last quarter, he was one of the top merch sellers. I don't know about this quarter, but we'll see. I'll tell you who is. It's AJ friggin' Styles, man. If merch means anything, and one of the reasons why I think the New Day is able to do what they're able to do, transitioning over to New Day, you want to talk about merchandise sales and being commercial, having that commercial appeal and people wanting to see you, even regardless of the capacity that you're in. It's pretty interesting because the New Day is being able to be the New Day because of what they're doing. because of the merch sales, because those damn unicorn horns are never in stock, because of all of these things. It's pretty interesting, and while merchandise sales don't always indicate championship reigns or anything like that, it does guarantee you to be towards the top of the ladder. Like Kyo, who always tries to be a contrarian and a smartass in chat. Ambrose was selling more merch than Cena at one point. Ambrose has been in a top angle for like the past 2 years. Whether or not he's been winning them, that's a different discussion altogether. But over the past 2 years, he's been in top drawing matches, top angled matches with Wyatt and Hell in the Cells and Seth Rollins and the things that we've seen him with Roman Reigns. He was in the finals of the WWE Championship Tournament at Survivor Series. So you're kind of helping me with my point a little bit, just a little bit, It's pretty interesting. So with the New Day, which was what I was transitioning over to, and I think this is interesting, getting away from the merchandise sales conversation and more into the tonight for Raw, what we're going to see. The New Day has an interesting road left to travel to WrestleMania, because we're not exactly sure what role they're going to have at WrestleMania, whether they're going to be faces or heels until that moment. But here's what we do know. Tonight, they will be defending their WWE World Tag Team Championships against another incarnation of the League of Booty. Yes, we're going to have Rusev and Alberto Del Rio, which does not start with a C. Alberto Del Rio as a team, they're going to try to get the job done. This I was not expecting. I got to admit, I was not expecting that. It's actually an interesting take. It's actually an interesting thing that they did. And pretty cool stuff, I have to admit. I mean, like, I still don't want to see it because I hate the League of Booty. But, having the other two take on the New Day, it's an interesting way to book it because there's nobody else. That was the question coming out of Roadblock. What's next? What are they going to do? Who knows, right? It didn't really make a lot of sense because there's nobody left. Are they going to bring somebody up and we're going to have a hurried program until WrestleMania? Or are they going to have just a turn? What was it going to be? The Rock and the Usos. Now it looks like we have our answer. It looks like it is going to continue on with the League of Booty. And it could get quite interesting depending on what happens on Raw. Just because they did not have the title change at Roadblock does not mean they won't have the title change tonight. They could. It would be an interesting way to go. I don't know if it's the best way to go, but it is an interesting way to go. Oh, geez. Apparently my stupid ass YouTube put me under gaming again. Thank you, YouTube. This was actually not me. I did not do this myself. I hate when that happens. They're like, no, I know that you put yourself in sports, but screw you, Dead on Dave. We're putting you in gaming. So we're going to hurt your friggin' viewership because we hate you because you're fat. Jeez. Apparently. Anyway. There we go. Not a big deal. God, I look really red. I got to fix the contrast. Ugh. I look like a rock lobster. Oh. My wife hates that song. Yes. Let's fix the contrast here just a little bit. Let's see. Can I make myself whiter? It sounds like something Michael Jackson would have asked. Can I make myself whiter, Tito? No, I don't need the other lamp. Look, I'm whiter, babe. See? I didn't need to turn on the other lamp. Well, yeah, that's flesh tone. Pinkish is flesh tone. That looks fine. That looks fine. Big, leave me alone. Don't you hit me. Don't you hit me. Don't you hit me. Do you see the abuse? Do we see the abuse? Thank you, Sal, for catching my inadequacy as a human being and making sure that I was in the proper location now. I appreciate that. Now, big shout out to everyone in the chat. We got Derek. We got Gimme Yo Milk Baby, Matthew Contos, Pittsburgh boy, who's back from his debauchery spring training. Matthew Contos, Carl Gibney, Joe Martin freaking out. I'm not going to let him call. Patrick Glenn, I see everybody is hanging out. Kjall 310. All you guys, you sexy people, thanks for hanging out with your copious fat man host, Dead on Dave. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you feel froggy and you want to donate to the channel and help me continue to build this magnificence back here with the green screen, you can donate to the channel right in the description box below. By the way, I want to talk about really quick donations to the channel. I want to say thank you to everyone who's donated this year, especially because you guys have been unbelievably generous, and because of you guys, I've been able to make significant upgrades to the channel. Starting with the green screen, I'm upgrading the computer tomorrow. That's slightly because of you guys as well. So many things. I would not have gotten WWE 2K16 if it weren't for you guys. Videos will be coming because of that. So thank you for all the support. It means everything. So continue on with that, and I can continue to make copious amounts of upgrades to the channel. So thank you very much. Mr. Jason, we're going to switch over to questions now. Mr. Jason 916, is Kurt Angle coming now or WrestleMania Dave? Neither. He's not coming at all. I think the conversation that he had with Triple H was just a conversation. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, and I do believe that's the case here. Kurt has expressed many times in the public that he wants to take time off. He does not want to wrestle. He does not want to be a part of any wrestling organization for a little while. But then again, this is Kurt Angle that we're talking about, a guy who some people would call a liar. Other people would say he's a guy who changes his mind a lot. Whatever you feel about the man, he does kind of make different decisions based on how the wind blows. So you never know. He could show up tonight. It's in Pittsburgh. Makes all the sense in the world. You know, him being a Pennsylvania guy, very well could show up. It would not shock me. I don't really care about seeing him, though. It's just, I've never been a huge Kurt Angle guy. He's interesting, he's funny, but he's also goddamn near 50 now. And I don't feel he's had a really quality, fantastic performance in the ring in a very long time. But that's just me. I would still appreciate seeing him because legends, man. Legends. So let's go ahead and take a call. 718. All right, Joe Martin, you get your call. What do you want? You're live with Dead on Dave.
I have to just say something about why would they need Mick Foley? Because he is, like, what's the purpose of him being there at Raw? There is no purpose of having him there.
Sure, of course there are. For one, Mick Foley is one of the most popular superstars of all time. So eyeballs
Agreed.
for one. Eyeballs for one. Two, his son is now working with creative in some capacity, and his daughter Noelle is about to get a network show. So there's lots of important things to have there with the Foley family. Keeping good faith and keeping him in the fold is always a good thing. Three, he's one of the most iconic figures in the history of Hell in a Cell. When he was thrown out, I know that you were too young to remember this, or you only saw
it.
You didn't see it live. You didn't live through it. You weren't even born when this happened. When he got thrown off that cage, unless you were born, you can't really appreciate how impactful. It's arguably the greatest visual in the history of wrestling. Arguably.
Yeah, I heard that he said that he wasn't supposed to fall and he got like really injured. That guy's a badass.
No. Him getting thrown off the cage was 100% planned. He was getting thrown off the cage. When he went through the second time, there's conflicting reports. Sometimes they've said that he was supposed to go through. Sometimes he wasn't supposed to go through. But if you go back and watch, you know that he was supposed to go through because they had the section of that cage held together with zip. Oh, Matthew Contos donated $20. I'm a man of my word. Ambrose is in champ and Reigns is still running my TV and not being heel. Can you still, when you get time, name a Charizard if you get one? Name him Contos. Absolutely, man. You know what, Matthew Contos, you are a man of your word. I completely forgot that I won the bet. Thank you, Matthew Contos, for being a man of your word. Good man, dude. I didn't have to tell you. I didn't have to brag. You just did it. Good stuff. Kind of wish Dean would have won the title, but awesome sauce for you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Very generous donation. Well, Bet winning. Wasn't donation. I won a bet. Woohoo. Joe, what did you say before I got that nice little reminder that I'm awesome?
I was about to go on something. Do you think that tonight some man will fill in for Shane? Because I feel like it's going to happen tonight.
I feel like it could still happen, but now they've kind of worked this whole situation now where it feels like Shane has to fight. And even if Shane doesn't get replaced, it's not going to just be Shane and Undertaker in that cage, man. I believe that we're going to see a lot of factions. I think this is going to be like a legendary type situation. There's going to be a lot of people fighting for both sides of power, because this is going to start becoming more about power. I think we're going to see that tonight. That's why The Undertaker is going to be confronting both Vincent and Shane tonight. I am going to tell them, boy, that their blood will be on my hands.
Dave, one more thing. Imagine this happens. I'm picturing this at Mania. Like, Triple H gets involved, because I think he might get involved, because he's the leader. Triple H and Shawn both in the ring, and then Shawn just super kicks Triple H.
Yeah, I don't want to see Shawn turn on Triple H again. Not unless there was going to be another rivalry. Unless it ended with another match with Shawn, which will not happen. Shawn will never wrestle again. Ever. I don't want to see him kick Triple H again. No, do not want to see it. But there is some interesting. I'm glad you brought that up, though, because if Triple H were to be interfering in that match, more than likely the reason for that being would be because Triple H and Roman already had their match. So the question is, if Roman does come back tonight and the reactions don't get much better, and being in Pittsburgh, I'm not expecting them to be very good for him. All these things happen. Do you end the show with Roman Reigns Triple H? And if you don't, because if you do, you are running the risk of sending everybody home from WrestleMania 32 on the biggest down note in the history of WrestleMania. But if you don't, you are sending a message that you don't believe in Roman Reigns. That Roman Reigns is shit, basically. So that's the situation that they have booked themselves into with this man. So it's interesting.
I feel like that should be the main event, too. No one wants to see the end of the show with Roman Reigns walking out of there, clean victory with the belt.
Get ready for it, because it's coming.
It's coming. But I would like to see that, because that has the most balance on the line. Has the most importance of basically a whole entire Monday Night Raws and SmackDowns on the line. So.
Well, I think that's part of the reason why they're going to have all three there tonight. I think that's another reason why Mick Foley's going to be there. You have everybody there to put extra emphasis on this match, because while Shane has gotten some really good pops and everything, I don't think enough people care about this match yet. Tonight, I think something needs to happen to make us start to care. So hopefully that will happen.
Can Foley wrestle again, or he's done?
No, he's done. Yeah, that guy can still barely put on his socks in the morning by himself. So yeah, I don't see. He might take a bump because he's crazy, but I certainly don't see him wrestling again.
What else do I have to say? That's just about it. I'll call you out during Raw. The review.
Very good call, Joe. I appreciate the call. Good job.
All right. Later, Dave.
Take it easy, buddy. We got a question earlier I saw from my man's Gun Cannon asking me if I saw the video that WWE posted from this week's Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesomeness with AJ Styles. And I did. And if you have not seen this, they played a game called Will WWE Talk About It? And AJ Styles was there, and he pushes a button, and topics come up, and they play the game, Will WWE Talk About It? And the first one that came up was the Bullet Club. And they waited, and then, ding, yes, the WWE will talk about it. And they made a joke stating, they might make you change the name to the Mullet Club. Then the second topic was, will WWE talk about it? The organization that you wrestled at from 2004 to 2014 or something, whatever he was there. And it was obviously TNA. And then, will WWE talk about it? No. And then both AJ Styles and Christian, who have both been multi-time champions within TNA, laughed. They laughed their muzzafuzzin' arses off, man. They really did. And it's going to be interesting to see how Dixie, who gets her panties in a ruffle over everything, I'm sure she is going to make some, because Lord knows they don't mind taking shots at WWE every chance they get. I'm sure they're going to talk about disrespect and all of this. I'm 100% sure of it. And you know what? If she does, expect a video out of me ripping her asshole open, okay? Because I'm going to. Because every time that TNA gets indignant and says something, the wrestlers, Dixie, whoever, saying something about WWE programming, stealing something that they already did, or making accusations about tampering, or even though their contract negotiations, some of the worst in the history of professional wrestling, all these things, they have the balls to do that after they allowed VKM to happen. For those of you who don't know what the VKM Mafia was, go back and watch it. It was just weeks of Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg Jesse James. Yes, that Road Dogg, who's now one of the higher up executives within WWE, just saying some of the most repulsive, repugnant things imaginable. Things that went beyond just rivalries or distaste or dislike, whatever. They were disgusting on a personal level. So, I mean, it's expect a video. If I see one tweet, one comment from Dixie, that woman, that organization, my Lord. Anyway. So, yeah, there we go. Getting back to tonight a little bit. It is going to be interesting. We're in full Raw preview mode. Fake ass twat. By the way, you bitched the title again, Dave Jesus and Daniel Bryan. No, I didn't botch the title. I didn't. Because Daniel Bryan is not confirmed, you jackass, fake ass twat. So I had everybody else there. And question mark, Daniel Bryan, question mark, because I don't know if Daniel Bryan's going to be there. So I wanted to really emphasize the question mark. You jackass, fake ass twat. How dare you, you little jabroni, come into my chat, my channel, and dare talk about things that you don't understand. You know what you get for that? You get a timeout, fake ass twat. You get a timeout. Let's take another call. I'm just kidding. I love you, fake ass twat. You still get a timeout, though. Pittsburgh boy, he's back from debauchery. Let me smell your finger. Are you live with Dead on Dave?
Wait, what debauchery?
Oh, you're the one who was talking about how you were going to be slamming bitches.
So you have to use the word debauchery.
Debauchery, yes. That's the proper word to describe most things that happen at spring break. Come on, Christ, you're a college kid, for Christ's sake. And you have a problem. Debauchery is a very apt word. Yes, apt. Do you need to look that one up too? What do you got for me, Pittsburgh boy, before I throw your ass over the top rope?
Oh, wow, this is some type of a greeting, man. It's been a week, and this is
you
how
come
I
in here
get talked
starting
to.
shit?
Start like I start.
You want to question my word choice? Are you insane? You got nothing. What do you got for me,
to come back.
You know what? I'm about to award. I'm going to award a Golden Dave. You know what I'm going to award a Golden Dave to? Last week. I'm awarding officially a Golden Dave to last week. Do you know why? Because you weren't fucking here. And my life was easier. So last week, the whole week gets a Golden Dave for being Pittsburgh free. You're here. My blood pressure's up. I want to punch Jesus. This is what you do to me.
You know you missed me.
I'm going to ask you again. What do you got for me, douche nozzle?
What's up? That's what I got. What's up?
Seriously? That's what you got? You are so over the top rope. You are. I am not your buddy. I am not your friend. Well, kind of your friend. No, you don't call into a show. You would never call into a radio show. You would never come in here and go, just call and say hello. I don't want pleasantries. I want content. I want things to talk about. I want interesting shit. I opened with, can I smell your finger? You could have told a story about spring break, but you got no stories. You got nothing. Instead, you got derailed by the word debauchery. Anyway, Chase Everidge, what's up, Dead on Dave? What's up, Chase? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for being here. There's Patty Glenn, my good buddy. Patty Glenn, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got for me, pal?
Not much, Dave. What's going on?
I'm pretty good. Ha!
Ha 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 ha. Come on, we all know Pittsburgh only reads at a fifth grade level.
At best, yes.
That's why he doesn't know
That's
that
why
word.
he won't tell us what college he goes to. Because, like, you can only hype up DeVry so much.
DeVry, or what's the other one? Phoenix Institute Online?
Phoenix Institute of Higher Learning, yes.
Education Connection.
Thanks for the welcome back, Dave. He wrote in the chat. I bet he typed it really snarkily. You're on timeout for your snarky typing. That I'm sure you did. Yes, you could type snarkily, and that's a word too.
Wait a minute. He went on spring break.
He went on spring douchey.
He probably stayed at home and jerked off to his Roman Reigns poster.
Well, thanks to it's pretty crazy the wide reach that I have here on Dead on Dave Productions. I know people where he was at on vacation.
Okay.
And I was able to acquire a photo of Pittsburgh Boy on spring break. And I'm going to release it to the world right now. Because I feel that you guys have a right. You should know what's going on in Pittsburgh's life. Since he wants to put his life out there for us so much, and I'm his buddy, and you could just call into a live show and say, what's up? Let's show the world what Pittsburgh's spring break looked like. Because I think people want to see that. So here we go. Exclusive. Okay. There we go. Bang. This is exclusive Pittsburgh Boy spring training. And somebody memed it. There you go. You know what? This is so good.
It's on a delay for me here, so
I know. You'll get it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's so good that I'm also going to give it an award. I'm going to give it the only award that it could possibly be worthy of. And that is, of course, a Golden Dave. A Golden Dave.
Those look like the two women that I see hooking downtown in my town.
Well, this is exclusive stuff from spring break, man, and there it is. You know, these are the two fat bellas that no one ever talks about. So there we go. Because of donations, I was able to hire a camera crew to follow this guy around. So there you go, Patty. Ha Patty, do you like it? Ha
I know. I'm trying to think of think of funny names to give those two fat Bella twins.
I guess we could just call them the fellas, the fat bellas.
Dave, that's Ricky and Spree Bella.
That's right, Ricky and Spree fella. There you go. There you go.
So wait a minute.
That is something that you will never be able to unsee. That is now ingrained into all of your minds forever. Forever.
I don't know which one's worse, the Pitts and Roman or that one.
No, you know what? Don't hate on the Pitts and Roman one, because that's a beautiful expression of love. Because what do we do here, Patty? What does Dead on Dave do?
Make fantasies come true.
He makes fantasies come true. That's what we do here. So I don't appreciate anybody besmirching that beautiful moment. For those of you who don't know that beautiful moment that I'm talking about, here it is for the world to see once again. We make fantasies come alive here. This is what we do. And Pittsburgh boy being the man that we all know he is. I found a diary page describing this scene. So we made it happen. And it's glorious. It's glorious. And so people don't think that we're just picking on Pittsburgh boy. I make other dreams come true. You might not like this one as much.
I've seen it. With my woman, yes, I've seen
my
it.
wonderful moderator and Patty Glynn's girlfriend, Terry Snow Queen, she had a fantasy too. And I found her diary page. And so we made her fantasy come alive as well. This one is actually more graphic than the other one, if you could believe it. I love this picture so much because of all the detail that's here. I love that both Rambo and Amish Dave are in this picture.
I'm sorry, but Amish Dave is really creepy.
Yes, it is. In the best possible way.
That's just really creepy that Amish Dave is in the background.
Dude, I'm more worried about Dean and Roman here because they are looking very aggressive.
Well, Dean better get his hands off a girl's tits.
I'm telling you, man, they are looking aggressive here. Like, Terry's not going to walk out of this place. I was going to say walk out well, but she ain't walking out, period. This is bad. This is bad. I don't know. They got bad intentions. And I don't think they're going to power bomb her through a table. It's not good. Not good.
I just don't want... the Amish Dave thing is just funny.
Amish Dave is the best thing ever, man. Amish Dave is the best thing ever. Apparently, I'm missing all kinds of questions in the chat. If you guys do have questions about what's going on in wrestling, want to get back to some wrestling topics, go ahead and put them in there. I'll be watching the chat right now, and I will answer your questions. You can also call in on Skype, David Vancura, DavidVancura, or use the number 702-751-2902. Also, feel free.
I just had one quick question.
God damn it, Patty. I was plugging, dude. Now you know I got to throw your ass over the top rope. You know that, right?
I know. But I'll call during Raw tonight.
Thanks, Patrick. See you after Raw. Bye. Patty Glenn, everybody. Who does sound amazingly like Mickey Mouse and looks like a thinner me. Not a much thinner me, though. I'm just saying. Not a much thinner me. If you're gonna be a me, be a thinner me, like a much thinner me, you know? Don't be a little bit. Being a little bit thinner of me doesn't, help you that much. Might help you a little bit, but not too much. Not too much. Shola Emobe said, I'm sorry I butchered your name, buddy. When do you see Rollins return, Dave? I do not want to see him return too soon. Some people are like, well, let's get him in there immediately. No, personally, with knee injuries and stuff, let's wait until SummerSlam. Let's give him, a good almost full year. Why not? Why not? I think you have to. Oh, God, I was thirsty. Oh, yeah. I was thirsty. I think you got to give him plenty of time. To recuperate. Personally, I don't want to see it very soon. But Kelvin Acosta asks, would Linda come back to bring in Cena? I mean, I guess she could. And when Vince and Shane collide like this, usually we do see Linda get involved. But it's been a while, so who knows? She could, and it could be interesting, but I'm not exactly clamoring for it either. Fake ass SWAT. Dave, what if Shawn referees Taker? Shane, I am expecting him to either referee that or the Triple H Reigns match. Screws Taker because he's a bitter cunt and faces Taker one more time at Mania 33. The stipulation is that if Taker can't beat Shawn one last time, he will retire. I hate this for so many reasons, and I'm not being a dick to you. I'm just not a fan of, for one, Shawn Michaels wrestling again. Two, Shawn Michaels wrestling The Undertaker again, especially well past their primes at this point. Three, if they were going to do it, you do it in Texas. You don't do it in Miami or Orlando or wherever the hell it's going to be next year. You don't do that. So for a bunch of reasons, I just don't like it. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, Shawn has no interest in wrestling. He's killing animals. He's doing God's work. So, just let him continue to kill animals. Pittsburgh boy, I let you back on. You're on such a short leash. I mean, just an absolute.
If you wanted to expose for spring break, all you had to do is ask.
No, I don't want to know about spring break. I don't care. I don't care
You
about
just
your.
asked. You just
Look,
said there.
I don't. No. What I said was you could have told stories about spring. You could have been interesting instead of a douche nozzle. I don't want to hear about your 31 flavors of STDs. I don't need to hear about it. I don't need to hear about the interesting new colors that your penis is secreting. I don't need to know about it. I don't need to know about how the pee burns in the morning. I don't need to know about these things. It's just, I don't need to know. I appreciate you wanting to tell me about them, but I don't need to know. I don't need to know about how many men you got to lick your
I want to be
bungus.
clear, I'm clean.
To your
I got
knowledge.
no diseases, I'm clean.
To your knowledge.
What are you trying to say?
I'm nothing. I'm just saying, wrap your Whopper before you serve it.
No, you're saying to your knowledge.
Well, because you don't know. Sometimes STDs don't present for a couple of years.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
I thought it was like, no.
Yeah, some VD can take years to present, buddy. The only way, look, just because you're not burning right now when you're pissing doesn't mean you're clean. Unless you've got a drug test in the last, or not drug test, a blood test in the last 30 days, you don't know if you're clean. But here is something that you can take solace in. I'm going to let you go on this. I'm pretty sure you're okay because as far as I know, you can't get STDs from blow-up dolls. Have a good night, Pittsburgh. Let's take another call. Matt the Misfit. Been a long time since Matt the Misfit called in. He's always got interesting shit to say, and he's not going to correct my word choice either. He's the type of douche I like. Matt the Misfit, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much.
Well, I was trying to play 2K16, but the damn thing keep crashing on me. I was in the middle of making an arena.
Interesting story about 2K16, if you're interested. Interesting story.
Is it crashing on you too?
Well, see, I was rocking Windows 8.1.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't even start up. It was just running in the background only, right?
Yeah.
I could not find why this was happening. I couldn't get a good reason as to why it was happening. Just that the only way to fix it was to switch to Windows 10, which is something I did not want to do. Was not looking forward to doing it. Had no interest in doing it. I'm playing with the colors again. So, but I did it, and now it's working. And I'm having virtually no problems. Like, no problems at all. The load screen with Stone Cold will sometimes take a minute or two. But other than that, not a big deal.
Yeah. So, Raw's tonight.
Yes, it is.
What the hell's going to happen?
What do you mean? Have you missed the first 48 minutes of the show?
Well, like I said, I was trying to get 2K16.
Well, okay. Well, we know that it's loaded with stars tonight. We know that this is...
Yeah, I know a few hours ago, they confirmed that The Undertaker will confront Shane and Vince.
The Undertaker, Shane McMahon, Brock Lesnar, Mick Foley, all confirmed.
I want to talk about that. What is Mick Foley doing?
Mick Foley is more than likely he's going to be doing something with the, hyping up Hell in the Cell, more than likely. Maybe being in some type of situation, talking to Shane, talking to Undertaker. My wife's going to bed. Say goodnight to everybody, babe.
Night.
Good night, Melanie. Have a good night's sleep. I love you. All right. Yes, I made kissy noises at my wife. Eat me, everybody. Eat me. We're cute.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyway.
Mick Foley.
Or he could be doing something out of left field. You never know with Mick.
You know what? What if, may sound weird, but what if he does something with Bray Wyatt?
I thought about that. But what could he possibly do? Bray Wyatt...
I mean, did you hear the Sting rumor that's going around that they're going to probably do Bray and Sting?
Not for this WrestleMania.
I mean, they got to give something to Bray Wyatt.
Sting cannot wrestle. He has not had his neck surgery. He cannot fight.
What if Bray Wyatt inserts himself somehow in the main event?
I thought about that possibility. From what I'm understanding, though, the reasoning, and I've only read this at a couple sites, so I don't know how accurate this is, but the reasoning that Bray did not have any contact with Brock is because they are saving that for after WrestleMania. Bray,
I also read that Bray has a back injury right now.
yeah, he might be nursing some lingering issues, but nothing severe, from what I understand.
Bray Wyatt's too talented not to be wasted at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying?
Talent or not, I think he's in a dead spot right now. He's in a really, really rough situation.
To me, they shouldn't have fed him and the Wyatts to please retire.
The Titans. The Titans.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was.
I got a saving grace for the Wyatts.
That did nothing for Ryback, basically.
No, there's nothing. I got a saving grace for the Wyatts. You want something interesting for the Wyatts at this WrestleMania? I'll tell you, the only thing that they could do that I think could save the Wyatts for WrestleMania, because unless there's something I'm missing and not thinking about, there's really not anywhere else for the Wyatts to go for 3 weeks to get to WrestleMania, unless they're going to insert themselves, most importantly, Bray, into the main event or into the Hell in a Cell situation. I think that we might see them there.
Because those are the only two things I can think of.
But here's what I think. This is what I would do. Break them up.
I don't know.
And here's how I would do it. You have a situation that happened the other night at Roadblock, where Bray let Luke get just destroyed. You don't have to do a full Wyatt breakup, but Luke versus Bray at WrestleMania makes all the sense in the world.
And that would be a damn good match, too.
It would be.
Because first of all, you know what? If they weren't doing like any other programs right now, I think if they weren't destroying Harper the other night, Lesnar and Harper could put on a damn good match, too.
Lesnar and Harper could put on a really good match. Harper got in some really good offense against him, but I think Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt makes a hell of a lot of sense. It doesn't need a lot of build. That's one good thing about it, because it has its own built-in stuff, just based off what happened the other night.
I'm just ashamed you didn't get AJ Styles and Kevin Owens on that show, the Iron Man match.
That was, from what I understand, an excellent match. It was.
I don't know if anybody else has thought about this, but to me, I think of Kevin Owens as sort of like the new Vader a little bit, with all the moonsault he does.
I think they hit on that because they even had JBL make references to the forearms that he throws. I think that's an unfair thing to say to Kevin Owens, because as good as Vader was physically being able to move his size,
I'm like, there's certain things that he does that reminds me of Vader.
Oh, sure, I purposely, I believe, but to say that I think that's an unfair thing, because Kevin Owens isn't. He's fat, but he's a phenomenal athlete.
You know what's crazy about Roadblock?
And so is Vader. So is Vader, though. So, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Triple H used a crippler crossface in Canada.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Why?
Chris Benoit.
But why is that messed up?
I know it's
Are you one of these political justice fucking social warrior douches?
No. I've sort of dropped on the whole not giving Chris Benoit the dues of what he did in the ring.
Well, they're separate. They can't. You can't.
I don't think about the Benoit afterward. I think about the Benoit who did the wrestling.
You can't. There's no way of ever being able to do that. But to me, it's ridiculous that you can't use the crippler crossface, which by the way existed before Chris Benoit.
No, I'm not saying you can't. It's just weird it happened in Canada.
It's not weird. It was going to happen wherever it was. I think it's
and
nothing.
What about Michael Cole mentioning Hulk Hogan the other night?
Oh, Hulk's coming back. I mean, Hulk's coming back, and that's not the first time Hulk Hogan.
He said his name once and didn't go back to it later.
Well, that's not the first time Hulk Hogan's been referenced or shown as of late either. They've been bringing him up a lot more lately. It's because he is coming back. I wouldn't be shocked if he shows up at WrestleMania in some capacity, if this Gawker thing is over by then, which we don't know if it will or will not.
Probably won't. What about the Kurt Angle issue that you heard?
Kurt Angle ain't coming. The thing with Kurt Angle, it's like, for one, he said he was taking a year off. So I don't like the idea of him coming on WWE programming unless it's like a retirement speech. If he's coming to WWE to retire from wrestling and he wants to go out as a WWE wrestler, for one, it would be such a burn to TNA that it would make me giggle for like a year. Two, it would be a send-off, which would be great. And three, I don't want to see him wrestle anymore. People who come on here and talk about Kurt Angle as still an elite wrestler, you are smoking some amazing ganja, my friends, because Kurt Angle's wrestling matches are painful to watch. The
last match I enjoyed him was I think it was No Mercy 2007 with him and Undertaker.
That's a long time. Well, it couldn't have been 2007 because he was already in TNA, but it had to be before that.
Or no, 2006. That was 2006.
That was right when he left. He left in 2006. So
that was a really good match too.
Yeah. Oh, he had an amazing run in WWE.
Before
he was messed up. He got messed up.
Hey, before I go, can I plug a few things I'm on?
What's that?
Yeah, before I go, can I plug a few things I'm on?
You gonna donate to my channel?
I'll try to do that too.
Okay, well, yes, then go ahead. But if you don't donate to my channel, I'm gonna send like goons to come fuck you up. Go ahead, plug away, my friend.
Follow my gaming channel at Misfit Gamer 101 and on Twitter, Misfit Gamer 101. Check out my anime podcast, Full Metal Otaku, and you can follow their Twitter, Full Metal Otakus with an S. So
there you go. If you donate to the channel, I will put your link in my next description box for my next video. If you donate to that, there you go, kids. You want a reason to donate to Dead on Dave Productions? That's what I'll do. If you have a project that you want linked in the description box of my video, I will put your link in the description box of whatever video that you donate to. There you go. That's man, I'm brilliant. That's smart. So there you go.
Oh, later, Dave. I'll probably try to call in after Raw night.
Hopefully, we will not be disappointed. I'll talk to you after Raw, buddy.
I mean, because Undertaker, freaking Shane.
We'll
Mick.
see.
Well, later, man.
Talk to you later. Matt the Misfit, everybody. Matt the Misfit. 718. You're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
I got one more thing to
Why
say
are you
about
calling
Bray
again?
Wyatt.
God.
It's important. It's important.
Okay, well, wait a second. Let's pump the brakes here. I want you to understand that if this is not important, we're going to have issues. Proceed.
Well, it's an important... Okay, I think it's important. Since you said Undertaker already has matches booked with Bray Wyatt after Mania, right? Am I correct?
I didn't say Bray Wyatt. I just said that he had matches booked. I don't know who he has matches booked with.
Too Tall said with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt
If so
family.
saith Too Tall, that's good enough for me.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is Bray Wyatt interferes Mania with Taker again. Do you see it?
Very
happening?
possible.
Because the Too Tall said, I think they're the Wyatts again, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that again.
No, I'll kill myself. Well, look, the reality is Undertaker's booked at house shows with Bray Wyatt. That doesn't mean anything. We just saw Sami Zayn and Stardust at a glorified house show, and that means nothing. So it doesn't matter.
Everyone's saying he's going to fight the actor, what's his name? Something with the arrow. Who wants to see that? I'll kill myself too.
I don't know if it's going to happen. It's just a couple of weeks away. Unless that happens tonight, I don't know. They were in Canada. They were in Canada on Saturday. Stephen Amell's from Canada. If they were going to do it, they would have done it then.
Yeah, I think he should drop the Stardust gimmick. I don't like it.
Yeah. I agree. Go back to Cody. That's
it. I'm done calling until later.
Joe. Thanks a lot, buddy. Take it easy. Joe Martin, annoying me as always. Breaking news. We're breaking news here, people. You guys better be hitting the like button on this video because I'm breaking news for everybody right here because this is what I do. It's what I do. Mick Foley's role has now been revealed for tonight, and I am here to tell you that he will be revealed as a long-rumored off-screen character in WWE, and here's the official press release from WWE. Boom! Mick Foley is Sister Abigail. We have found it out. amazing. It makes all the sense in the world. Mick Foley, all the advocating he does for women's wrestlers, he's officially going to cut off his junk and become Abigail. We have an I am Kate situation. That's right. Mick Foley is going to become the next women's champion as Abigail. That's right. So that's right. Thank you for all my sources who were able to make that happen. DJ Anime is in the chat. What's up, Dave? What's up, everybody? Carl Gibney, Fake Ass Twat, Joseph, Blunt, and Rage Hardy, all you awesome individuals up in the chat. Chase Everidge, thank you guys for hanging out with me so far. I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening. We are doing your wrestling warm-up. We're talking about everything that's going on at Monday Night Raw tonight. If you guys have anything that you would like to talk about, now's the time. You can call in on Skype. David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA, or use the number 702-751-2902. We do got another Hall of Fame situation to talk about because yet another Hall of Famer has been announced. Of course, we know the last two Hall of Famers, who they're going to be. They've already been revealed. And tonight it will be Miss Jacqueline. That's right, Miss Jackie, former WWE Women's Champion and one of the all-around toughest women in wrestling. Now look, I have made no bones about the fact that I am not a fan of seeing women wrestlers fight men wrestlers. Just not a fan of it. I don't think it works very well very often. I don't think it looks very good very often, except in two categories. There's two people that I didn't mind it. China, who actually truly competed with men and had good matches, not just fights and brawls, good matches with men. She did it. The other one is Miss Jacqueline, who is legitimately one of the toughest human beings, I think, to ever work in the professional wrestling industry. I think that she's a little bit of a tough sell, I should say, for the Hall of Fame. Part of me is like, okay, the Hall of Fame, good stuff. Still, I don't know. This one, I think she's more of a fringe Hall of Famer than Big Boss Man. I do believe that. And just mainly because I don't remember her ever being all that over. You know, she had some good spots. One of the most memorable things she ever did was in WCW when she got involved in that Kevin Sullivan, Chris Benoit, Nancy situation. You know what I'm saying? Everyone remembers that. The conspiracy theories are just running wild right now. They're running wild, yeah. Can you feel the madness? Can you feel the madness all around you? Yeah. Brother. You know, I don't know why that has anything to do with it, but it's never a bad time to do a Macho Man impersonation. Never. No one's ever in the history of life said, yeah, that was unnecessary, Macho Man. It doesn't exist. Those words I just said have never been said in that order before because it doesn't exist. Joe Martin asks, Dave, do you think Chavo, Guerrero, or Vicky will get into the Hall of Fame? I think Vicky's got a really good chance. And if she goes in, there'll probably be some kind of deal where Chavo has to go in as well. I've never been a fan of Chavo Guerrero. Ever. You can never... I'm sorry. I never liked him when he was in WCW. I couldn't stand when he got a little bit bigger in WWE. I feel like he feels like he's Eddie, you know, and he's not. He talks about himself and presents himself like he is this legendary figure, and he's just not to me, and it makes me crazy. XLT Live Podcast in the chat. My good buddy Too Tall from XLT Live Podcast. He's here ripping shit up. What's going on, my friend? Fake Ass Twat says Jacqueline's from Texas. That makes a lot of sense. Yes, it's very true, but there's a lot of people from Texas who are not going to get into the Hall of Fame. So, and while it is true that WWE does like to keep certain classes themed, I just feel she's a little bit more fringy than even the Boss Man and the Godfather and Rikishi from last year. You know, it's just interesting. I don't know. interessant, I guess. Other news, Daniel Bryan appeared at a Pittsburgh Children's Hospital early today for a WWE announcement with the V Foundation. So there you go. That's that. More evidence to the fact that he is there in Pittsburgh and might be getting involved in tonight's Raw. There's some rumors, not very substantiated rumors, but rumors nonetheless that he could be there in some capacity tonight. Look, they are going for it tonight. It really looks like they are loading the show with as many things. That's why I'm not dismissing the Kurt Angle thing. Because it feels like, and this is kind of where the whole show has built up. So if you're just joining now, you picked the right time because of all the things that we talked about on tonight's show. We talked about all the stars that are going to be there, both potential and rumors. We know Taker, Lesnar, Shane O'Mac, Mick Foley, Daniel Bryan, potentially. The big rumors of Kurt Angle, which I think is very, very light rumors at best. All of these things make you ask the question, Roman Reigns making his return tonight, potentially. All these things that are happening, it makes you wonder, what does this feel like to you? Does this feel like a build to WrestleMania, or does it feel like panic time for WrestleMania? And I'm going to be very dismissive of the latter. I'm going to be very dismissive of panic because of the fact, by all intents and purposes, they've already broke the goal they wanted for this WrestleMania. Because if they've already sold over 85 tickets, and as of 2 weeks ago, they have already sold over 85,000 tickets, that means they are going to announce six figures. They're going to announce, even if they don't get it, which I'm pretty sure they will, they're going to announce 100,000. They're going to announce it. So they won. They're getting what they wanted. There's no question in my mind about that. So that to me says quite a bit. Like, why continue to push the spectacle? Is it because they have no confidence? And this is the interesting part. Is it because they have no confidence in the wrestling portion? It's because they just don't feel, with the injuries that they have and some of the really bad build that has gone into this WrestleMania and some of the mishandling of people, but mainly the injuries to two of their best workers going into Cesaro and Seth Rollins, who both potentially could have had huge purposes in this year's WrestleMania. It just makes you wonder that that's why they're going heavy on the spectacle, because as far as delivering on matches, there's just not a lot. There's a few. We got the women's title match, the Divas title match, which I think everyone's expecting to steal the show. We do have the Intercontinental title match, but we don't know what that's going to be yet. I think we're going to get a good idea of that tonight, but we still don't know what that's going to be. AJ Styles and Y2J, the whole reason why this is going on is because they need a match like that for WrestleMania. They need that to point to and go, no, look, this is good wrestling. Brock Lesnar and Ambrose is going to be an absolute car crash in the best possible way, more than likely. Same thing with Undertaker and Shane. So without a lot to point to, it's starting to feel like with some of the names that they're pumping. Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, The Rock, Stone Cold, all these guys that they're pumping into this event. It just really feels like it's like, let's go heavy spectacle, because we don't have any other substance. And they're going to get away with it. They're going to get away with it with people like me, because I'm going to be so satisfied after watching that NXT TakeOver Dallas with the by the way, the match card's already leaked. We already know who's wrestling at that NXT TakeOver Dallas, and I'm going to be nutting so much that Friday night. I'm going to be coming bucketfuls. I'm going to have no more come Sunday, you know? I'm going to be out of happy. So I'm just going to be floating and living on cloud nine, and WrestleMania is going to spoon feed me all this stuff, and I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to totally be fine with it. You know, because I'm going to be in this NXT wrestling paradise. My head is going to be so chock full of endorphins. It's going to be like I've just been popping ecstasy for like 4 days. You know, pretty interesting stuff. There's a debate in the chat right now about Vince Russo being on the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast. I have not heard it yet. I've read some excerpts from it, and I've heard him reiterate some of the things that he said on Stone Cold Steve Austin. Here's my take with Vince Russo. Vince Russo, according to Vince Russo, is one of the most important figures in history of wrestling. And what I don't like about Vince Russo is the fact that he feels that he knows everything that's good for wrestling, and that's just it to it. And if you disagree with him, it's because you don't know the industry. You've never been in it, so you can't possibly understand it. He never, and this has always been his issue, he never looks at it from, while we don't know the industry like he does, we know what we like. We are consumers. We purchase your product based off what interests us. Now, there's no question that the decision making is predicated on things that we possibly can't know. But guess what? I've never worked at a fucking Taco Bell, but I can still tell you if I like a goddamn tostada. I can tell you if that bean burrito tasted like bean asshole. I could tell you that, Vince Russo. But he doesn't look at it that way. And that's why this is the guy who gave you Viagra on a pole. This is the guy that gave you so many convoluted and weird storylines and still never, and he continuously manipulates people and uses them for his own gain. The guy should have been so much more than where he is right now. You know, and the way he's got such an axe to grind for Triple H, such an axe to grind for WWE. He's so jilted that he can't ever be happy with anything that happens in wrestling that his fingerprints aren't on. That's my take with Vince Russo. And I'd love to have him on, because I'd love to talk about him, because I'd love to talk to him about so many things, because it would just be interesting, because I don't know him. And I live in Germany, and I have absolutely no association with wrestling outside of talking into this microphone and trying to get my opinions, which are irrelevant, about wrestling. So I'll ask him the questions that nobody will ask, because I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit. I'll be respectful, but I will ask him questions that he's never been asked before on a podcast, because I simply don't care. I want to know what his views are. And I will ask follow-up questions, because I want to know where his headspace is. So that's just, I don't know. It's interesting. Vince Russo has said so many contradicting things about the WWE listening and not listening to fans and certain subsections of fans. The reality is the WWE is doing so many things at so many times that they don't get nearly enough credit for the balance that they have, because this is why you don't listen to fans 100% of the time, because we don't know what the fuck we want, when the fuck we want it. No idea. We couldn't tell you. Because one minute we're happy, the next minute we're not. And we could be swayed on wrestlers just because of the idea, the thought, the allegation that they are the guy. The idea that they are the guy. The fact that it was leaked, or it was obvious, apparent that Roman Reigns was the guy, ruined him. More than his lack of mic skills. More than his lack of wrestling improvement. It was the fact that he was being shoved down our throats. And that was the first time he was improving 2.5 years ago, when people were saying these things about him. But it was just the fact that he was the guy. It wasn't Daniel Bryan. It was him. That's why you don't listen to fans all the time, because we're assholes. Joseph Blunt, Dave, what do you think of Jim Cornette? Another asshole, but Jim Cornette is the type of asshole I like. Vince Russo is not the type of asshole I like, because Vince Russo is the type of asshole who tries to convince you he's not an asshole. Jim Cornette lets you know within 30 seconds of meeting him that he is an asshole, and he embraces it. He loves it. and he loves that you know it. So I have nothing but respect with Jim Cornette. His wrestling views, I don't agree with everything that Jim Cornette has to say, nor do I disagree with everything that Vince Russo has to say. It's just there's a balance. There's a counter to 'tis everything there is a season. You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting when you look at it. Nobody has it right. This is wrestling. There is no recipe that is always right. Wrestling is cyclical. It's cyclical. It comes in cycles. We see things work from decade to decade, from 5-year period to 5-year period. We see it over and over. We've seen them repeat themselves because wrestling goes with society. What is able to be accepted at the time society? Look, the reality is with all the political strife that's happening in the United States right now, with all the anger and resentment towards political correctness and all of this stuff, expect some, and we've been seeing it in some regards, expect more edginess out of WWE because they can see that the fan base is more accepting to it. They're going to change their shift from the 8 to 15-year-old back to that 18 to 38-year-old demographic, which they still care about in the ratings, by the way. That's still that demographic that they aim for in the ratings. But the kids are what they placate to because every now and then you have to replenish. You have to replenish your fan base. You have to go back and you've got to have your Cena times, your Hulk Hogan times. You've got to have that because you're going to burn out. We are fucking fickle when we get older. We have other interests when we get older. We go watch football. We go watch MMA. We have other interests. Kids, they're wrestling, man. The kids who love wrestling, they're wrestling, a lot of times whether their parents are into it or not. There are a lot of parents that are having kids that don't care about wrestling, but they take their kids to wrestling because parents take their kids to make them happy. So, there you go. Chase Everidge, now I'm watching Too Tall during Raw. I'm not doing a live review, or I'm not doing a live reaction, so it doesn't bother me. Have fun, go watch Too Tall, and if you want to check me out afterwards, that's completely fine. If not, Too Tall's my buddy, man, so it doesn't matter to me at all. Help him out. Helping him grow. It's what I'm talking about. Wendell Sunshine. Dave, when you lived in Chicago, did you ever check any local shows like Windy City or PCW? When I was there, I was 8. So I left very young. Very, very young. I left very, very young. So, no, the only shows I went to was the Bozo the Clown show. That was the close that I went to. So, there we go. I think we've just about hit everything. I got on a good rant there, eh? We had some good times. Talked about all kinds of things. We got Monday Night Raw in just about 45 minutes. We've had ourselves a really good show. We're gearing up. I'm warmed up. Hopefully you guys are warmed up and ready for Monday Night Raw. If you are into watching live reaction shows, go check out my man Too Tall over at XLT Live Podcast. And both of us will be live separately and probably talking to each other at some point during our reviews, our live reviews right after Monday Night Raw. Make sure you support both. If you can't watch them both live, or you can only listen to one live unless one ear. You could do that, I guess. It's weird, but But what you could do is watch one afterwards. So there you go. Hopefully you guys are having yourself a fantastic evening. Big shout out to my buddy Tommy C, who's been sick as hell. Might be coming back to the channel tomorrow for In the Crease. Never know. Tommy's not feeling well. He's going to the doctor tomorrow. He is that sick. So he's getting well. So Tommy C, get well, my friend. But go check out Shot from the Point over on the YouTubes with the hockey. Go check it out. Chris Payne, HBTW. Dave, who you got in March Madness? I've got University. I don't know. I don't watch college sports. I'm not a college sports type of guy. So I got Yeah, I'll take UConn. Give me Kentucky. Give me one of the big ones. I I don't know. I don't care. Sometimes I study up just so I could do the brackets, especially when I was a degenerative gambler, because I was. Woo-hoo! Big time degen. Whoo, this guy. Degen. Whoopa. So I would study then, but I don't really care. I'm not a big college sports guy. Never have been. Never have been. All right, so there it is. There it is. We're all warmed up. The muscles are loose. We're drinking the water. Let's get the water down us. Now we're hydrated. We've got the water running through us. We are ready for Monday Night Raw. So there you go. Hopefully you'll be back here after Raw. I kind of got sick to my stomach. Hopefully you'll be back here right after Monday Night Raw for your copious review with me, Dead on Dave. And we'll see you next time. Thank you guys for joining me once again right here. Keep it copious, folks. We'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends, or a Too Tall, or a Sal, the copious graphics guru. Check them out at White Death Graphics. Peace, boys. We'll see, and girls. We'll see you after Monday Night Raw. Peace.